This is episode 3 of Project Ungoverned, the online learning landscape. In part 2 of this episode, we explore access to education for disadvantaged students in India with Akash Sethi from Quest Alliance. This is Project Ungoverned, a podcast looking at the brave new world of online education, new ways of learning, new ways of teaching, and the promise of unprecedented access to education.
The boom in new education technology has sparked a gold rush, attracting new companies, global institutions, and investors. But who creates the rules of engagement and who enforces them? Is online learning ungoverned? I'm Nicole Harkin, an award-winning writer and former good government analyst.
And I'm Dr. Kim Oakes, an education strategist specializing in EdTech and international education. Together in this 6-episode podcast series, we talk to educators, learners, visionaries, and pioneers in online education from across the globe to look at the possibilities, challenges, and governance of online learning.
Will online learning revolutionize educational access and opportunity?
Or will it accelerate a downward spiral in educational quality?
And what role will governance and related issues such as accountability, transparency, and inclusiveness play in determining the outcome? Join us as we explore the landscape of online education.
In today's episode, we look at the second of 2 organizations that are using online education to improve educational access internationally.
To get a different perspective on the global online learning landscape, we interviewed Akash Sethi of Quest Alliance. Quest Alliance has reached more than 1.2 million school-age learners and education facilitators in India to date.
My name is Akash Sethi, and I am the CEO of Quest Alliance, which is a non-profit working on enabling young people to thrive as self-learners in India. So, Quest Alliance was set up in 2005 with the goal of developing 21st century skills for learners and facilitators who have been in disadvantaged communities and go to government schools or government run vocational training programs. We work in partnership with existing government systems, and we develop technology based or blended learning content for learners to be able to learn what they want at their own pace at their own time.
Akash explained the structure and funding of Quest Alliance.
So we are a non-profit trust. What that means is like a charity. So a lot of our funding comes from corporate social responsibility companies of who are looking to do CSR, as well as foundations like the International Youth Foundation, or more locally the Hans Foundation, that invests in our programs to reach more young people. So it's a combination of philanthropic capital from companies and foundations. We do have some individual donations and what we call as high net worth individuals. These are people who've made a lot of money doing businesses who are also investing in our work.
Akash explained why Quest Alliance was set up and its mission.
So I think the need at an early stage was identified as, a lot of new technology companies who were investing in education and employability, but they were investing in developing new software or hardware. They were not aligning their investments to issues of education, of pedagogy. And so we felt that, nonprofits are doing great work at one end, who have a need to scale their programs using technology. Technology companies are investing in models which probably are limited by their understanding of what technology can do for the education sector. And so we felt that an organization like Quest Alliance, which really becomes broker between technology companies who have the capital, who have the intelligence, the capital in terms of money, but also the human capital to apply to solving problems, along with NGOs doing interesting work. We could bring these two together to really develop models that can help each other and scale programs and have a more kind of amplifying impact as opposed to having that in silos. So that's how we started in 2005, with that need to really scale impact of good work that's happening. Till now, we've reached 1.2 million learners over the last 12 years. In the last year itself, we reached almost 220,000 learners. So in the next 5 years, we are really looking to scale and reach 5 million learners and facilitators.
Akash and his organization saw a need and was able to find a way to scale their programs so that many more people could be helped by their work.
We had Akash tell us more about the work of Quest Alliance.
Our focus has been, like I said, 21st century skills. What we mean by that is students who are able to articulate their goals clearly, be able to communicate in English in particular, develop better sort of critical thinking and decision making abilities, as well as articulate, as well as participate effectively in the digital economy. So a lot of digital literacy and skills that are able to give them access to the internet and thrive as online learners. So the big focus is first on self, and also then be able to identify what are the pathways to get there in terms of careers that they can choose, the information about the new trends in industry. We facilitate job placement service as well for them, so they can be linked to the right kind of internships in companies as well as jobs. And once they've got jobs, we provide them with an online learning and networking service where they can upskill themselves, take new courses, and develop new connections with their peers.
The student centered approach to learning is something we have seen in all of the episodes to date, and using technological solutions to address individual needs. We asked about the profile of a typical student working with Quest Alliance and the programs they offer.
We work with young people in the age group of 10 to 19. This is kind of the adolescent age group. So it starts when with learners in grade 5, and we go up until kind of grade 10. And then we also work with learners who have dropped out of school and are going to are looking for jobs. So we have a job readiness program, which is my quest, and we have a joyful schools program, which is Ananshala, which means joyful schools. And then we have a teacher education program, which is Master Coach, which prepares teachers to be 21st century educators.
Of the big three programs Quest Alliance offers, Akash first explained the Master Coach program, their teacher education program, which trains facilitators working with youth. Those who take part in the program can gain new perspectives on training and mentorship and learn about the most up to date training methods and technologies used in schools. He explained the criteria they use to choose people to take part in the program.
So we have a very lean kind of selection process. So as people should have at least been a trainer for 1 year, they should be able to speak English, and they should have completed their grade 12. So they should have completed high school. Typically, most of the people who enroll come from a very basic technology literacy. So they would know how to access the internet. They may be part of some social networks, but they haven't really looked at online learning before. They haven't, most 90% of our people would not have taken an online course before they join Master Coach. So a lot of effort in the first 3 days when we do the workshops is spent on orienting them to a learning management system, how to participate effectively in an online course, how do you really contribute to discussion forums. So that kind of training is essential for them to, successfully complete the course and also thrive in it.
As we saw with Chiron in Episode 3, Part 1, as well as with the Master Coach program, teaching students first how to learn in an online environment is critical to their success in the program. Akash then told us about the content and structure of the Master Coach program.
The whole program is built around managing partnerships and relationships. Our team really speaks directly to the decision makers, to the supervisors of the trainers and the human resource departments. This contact is actually made offline, which is through face to face meetings, and online in terms of some emails and newsletters that are sent. We also have alumni who, across the 30 organizations that we have already worked with, also serve as advocates for the program. And after the master coach journey is over, which is the online course is completed, our stakeholders are consistently invited to all sector facing platforms that Quest curates. This would be an annual summit where they build their professional network and engage in dialogues with the sector. They're also invited to participate in what we call the Master Coach Digital Learning Circles. That's a quarterly meeting that invites educators to understand millennials and the world of online learning. All of those are touch points to manage the relationship. We also have an online community called Trainer Tribe, which is an online professional networking platform which allows them to share what they are doing and how are they performing in their classrooms, and be able to learn from others in their network around what they're doing. This is kind of a moderated community which has about 1,000 members right now.
With Quest Alliance tapping into their alumni, they are solidifying their network and creating opportunities for ongoing professional development. This benefits the trainers, but also impacts the students going forward as well.
Akash then went on to tell us about the second of Quest Alliance's three programs, their MyQuest program, which is their blended learning job readiness program.
So in the MyQuest blended learning approach, we really, the goal is to help young people gain confidence in their aspirations, to make informed career decisions, and effectively navigate their personal and professional space. So we target young learners who are in the age group of 17 to 21 in both rural and urban contexts. And here they come from disadvantaged socioeconomic backgrounds who are in urgent need of employment skills. Informing parents about both breaking their mindsets about what is a good job and what is allowable is a big part of what we do in our programs. So that's a focus that we continue to have. And even doing meetings, parent meetings, or even phone calls to parents, or SMSs which send them tips around the job market, around careers, is something that we've done.
Quest Alliance is seeking to educate not only students, but also parents. In some cases, changing the mindset of the parents is critical to helping their children see new employment possibilities and take advantage of new opportunities. Both of these things are directly related to improving outcomes.
So, what we have is a powerful combination of digital self learning materials, which are on subjects like English, communicative English, customer interaction and sales, workplace readiness, life skills. And this entire process of the classroom activities and peer to peer learning is supported through trainers who we train to develop the facilitation skills, so that they can enable students to develop the confidence, the market oriented skills, and become more self aware. MyQuest has 250 hours of content. Almost 60% of the learning is through digital lessons and assessments, and the remaining 40% is through classroom and outbound activities and workbooks. We've also just done a mobile app which then provides learners access to this content anytime, anywhere, for anyone to really keep that learning going.
With its 60/40 split between online and offline or facilitated in class learning, MyQuest is an example of a blended learning program. As Akash pointed out, the online learning is only one component. The peer to peer model and the role of the in class facilitator were critical to learning. So, how are the outcomes assessed?
So there are two or three different outcomes that we are looking at. The first is really the job placement, which is have they got a job at the end of the day or not. The second is the improvement in what we say as agency. So their confidence, their communication skills, their ability to build relationships, as well as their ability to understand how to navigate the digital world. And this is a combination of both formative assessments that are at the end of the course, that are end of every topic, but also a baseline end line which gives us these information on their overall performance. The average completion rate is close to 80%. That's again because there is an in class facilitator. There's also a peer to peer model. So each computer is shared between two people. And so these two people are also learning together on the computer in a lab.
The metrics used to measure the outcomes go well beyond assessing academic achievement. Instead, the focus is on job placement and agency, as Akash calls it. Another term that could be used for agency is soft skills. By looking at both the baseline and the inline, improvement is factored into the evaluation rather than only a fixed assessment at the end. We asked Akash how the Quest Alliance programs work with the public education system.
So a lot of our programs, which are for grade 5 to 10, are integrated with the formal public education system. So we train master trainers from the public education system to be able to take some of our digital learning material and use it for behavior change with teachers and with headmasters. So a lot of these concepts that I spoke about, being learner centered, understanding facilitation, understanding how to look at active learning methods, are actually integrated into the master training that we do. So we are definitely kind of integrating it into the formal system and not keeping it as something which is outside the system itself.
Quest Alliance identifies technology partner organizations such as Microsoft, Cisco, Oracle, and others such as USAID and Give India. Akash explained how they selected and support their partners.
Our relationship with partners is typically guided by vision alignment, and we have an ability to identify these partners through a rigorous assessment, capacity assessment that we do. Once we've done that, and once we've brought the partners into our network, we have a fairly involved partner support system that ensures partners are able to draw on Quest's expertise, not just for immediate programmatic needs, but also their long term capacity building needs. We offer an intense curriculum and project management support to partners.
Akash went on to explain how they provide continuous on site support to their partners, remaining engaged as new programs are scaled up.
We have a team in each state or in each district where we are working with the partners. This team primarily manages relationships with the partner organizations, works closely with their trainers, works on providing them a continuous on-site support, which means they go in, take some demo sessions on how blended learning works, ensures that the technology is up and running, provides connects to industries and employers. We have worked in Jordan and Colombia to take some part of our work and replicate it with partners in that. Some of our funders like Accenture, Cisco are interested in doing this and taking it to other countries. So definitely there has been an interest. We haven't really ventured out, but we are happy to explore partnerships that are more global.
We wanted to hear more about how Quest Alliance monitors quality.
Quality is managed by us more in terms of the course delivery and the efficacy of the actual course. We do not have a system that kind of monitors quality after someone completes the course, and how do they apply some of those learnings in their context. That's something which we don't monitor closely. The partners give feedback after 4 to 6 months of the course completion about the changes they have seen. They are not involved right now in measuring quality.
In conclusion, Akash identified some of their ongoing challenges.
So, from a governance perspective, especially for online education, I think one big factor is how do you keep people motivated to continue to learn online and the completion rates. We feel we've been able to an extent, tackle that by working closely with partners and really providing a kind of a safe space for the trainers to take this course. We've been able to provide them with an e-facilitator. So I think that model has ensured a reasonable completion rate. I think the questions in terms of moving forward, if we are going from reaching 2,000 trainers online annually, if we have to go to 5,000 trainers annually to be able to reach out and scale at that pace, I think it'll need stronger partnerships with more organizations. We have 30 right now. We may have to have 100 partners who send their trainers to the course. We would need to strategically partner with some of the key government ecosystems to become their preferred knowledge partner. I think our current framework of the governance is in place to ensure high degrees of completion and networking.
Here are a few summary takeaways from our interview with Akash. First, as Quest Alliance fosters partnerships with existing education systems, this allows them to utilize the existing governance structure for their programs. Second, they focus on blended learning, where content is delivered online, but the offline classroom component is significant, including in person facilitators and peer to peer learning.
Third, in its work with trainers, Quest Alliance focuses on pedagogy and improving teaching, rather than merely introducing new tools into the classroom. It's clear here that the role of the teacher or in person facilitator is viewed as central to the education of the children. Moreover, their solutions are designed to complement the existing formal education system.
Another important part of the work of Quest Alliance is removing perceived limitations. Working to change the mindset of parents in India is part of their strategy to help young people find employment and succeed in the long term.
At the same time, they are also working on changing the behaviors of teachers and headmasters and integrating active learning, facilitation, and student centered approaches in public schools.
Finally, Quest Alliance seeks to be a bridge between nonprofits with know how and technology companies with the capital to invest and resources to scale their programs.
Some questions for our discussion with Akash we want to take forward to our symposium in January are: how can organizations in the online learning space maintain and develop partnerships, and what are some good practices?
What role can online learning programs play in changing mindsets about the objectives of education and employment possibilities? And finally, what factors are needed to both exponentially scale and maintain high quality education?
When we look at both of the organizations featured in Episode 3, Chiron and Quest Alliance's programs, there are some common themes. First, it's important to point out the in-person component of both of these programs. The guidance and transfer team at Chiron and the facilitators for Quest Alliance understand the needs of the students and the context in which they are educated. These individuals can implement effective, personalized solutions to complement the more scalable online programs.
Second, regarding governance, both programs are focused on soft skills, teaching the learners how to navigate bureaucracy and how to learn.
Third, partnerships are critical to long-term capacity building and scalability, and reflect that governance is an ongoing process. You can find the links, show notes, and learn about our upcoming virtual symposium on the 24th of January 2019 on our website at projectungoverned.com. If you're enjoying this podcast series, please subscribe, rate, and review Project Ungoverned on iTunes.
That's it for Episode 3, Part 2 of the Project Ungoverned podcast. Tune in for Episode 4, where we look at online learning and higher education. Project Ungoverned takes place within the Bosch Alumni Network, a network which consists of people who've been supported in one way or another by the Robert Bosch Stiftung. The network is coordinated by the International Alumni Center, IAC Berlin, a think and do tank for alumni communities with social impact. The IAC supports this podcast series and symposium. If you want to know more about the power of networks, visit iac-berlin.org.